Our next speaker is one of the only two people I'd ever met before today. His name is Jason Shepard. Jason Shepard is an engineer living in Fayetteville. He's a former U.S. Army enlisted, former state chairman of the Arkansas Constitution Party, director of a couple statewide political campaigns, most recently serving as the Arkansas State Coordinator for the 2008 Ron Paul presidential campaign.
Yay!
With that, would you help me welcome Jason Shepard?
Thank you. Good to see you out.
Yay.
Very encouraging. You are the ones we've been waiting for. Actually, as a Ron Paul supporter, when I heard the phrase "change you can believe in," I thought that was a reference to a return to the gold standard. Boy, was I wrong there. But this is a Tea Party, and I don't think any Tea Party in the tradition of the Boston Tea Party would be complete without at least an allusion to Samuel Adams. And one of my wife's favorite stories about Samuel Adams was when he was discussing, or ranting about the Stamp Act, and he said, if we don't do something, pretty soon Parliament's going to place a tax on heads of lettuce. Yeah, that was a flat joke, wasn't it? Yeah, we kind of have a different situation than Samuel Adams and the men of his day. We have a government now that desires to come on your farm where you grow the lettuce without a warrant, without cause really, and just decide whether you should be able to grow that lettuce or not, or whether you should be able to sell that lettuce once you've grown it. Yeah, we've come a long way. Now I saw a sign out here in one of the trucks that said, help wanted, senator, congressman, or two. Yeah, I empathize with that. You know, infamous political pundit once said that he would rather be governed by the first 400 names in the Boston phone book than by the faculty at Harvard. Now, I don't want to get into digging Harvard today. We are in a college town after all. But let me, if you agree with this in response on what you say, hear, hear, okay? Do you think in Fayetteville we could find 400 people that could run this country better than it's being run today? Okay? Not bad. So it goes without saying then that in Northwest Arkansas, home of the people that work for Walmart and J.B. Hunt, etc., that we could find 400 people that could run this country better than the ones that are running it today? Okay. And in Arkansas, etc., on down the list. So the obvious question is, where are those people? Someone mentioned the apathy that's rife in America today, and I think there's a reason to that madness, the madness of apathy. I think logical people look at this process, look at the people in it, and they say, no thanks. Not for me. And your neighbor says the same thing. I'm not interested. It's a meat grinder. There's a reason why good men go up there. They say, well, it's something in the water. But there's a good reason why men go up there or go down to Little Rock, and then they vote just like the rest of them. You could pull them out and put anybody else in there in the same political party, and even that's not a big distinction anymore. Somebody alluded to the re-election rate of Congress. Do you know what it is? I looked up for 2004, so I'll just say, in 2004, the House re-election rate was 99%. Yeah. But the Senate now, there's where we got a shot, right? 96. So, I hear the talk radio. I talk with people in coffee shops. I know, I'm juiced up. I understand a lot of the issues. I think everybody has enough information to know to be upset with what's going on. Is that not right?
Yep.
Yes!
And do we not call our congressmen, and we call our senators, and sometimes we do that for our state reps, state senators. Do we not do that? What happened last year? The first bailout came through, right? Well, it got voted down for about, what, a week?
Yeah.
And did we not get on the phone and we called the congressman for this district? And I was told that phone calls had a ratio of about 200 to 1 against passage of the bailout bill.
Yeah.
And yet, what does Congressman Bozeman do? He passes it anyway. And so I'm a little jaded on the old call your Congress. It's important. And it's very important that we send good people to Washington, D.C. and good people to Little Rock. But there comes a point in time when that is not enough. It's not enough. Well, what more is there? Well, let me first compare our government to a machine. And thank you if somebody said prayer. That's absolutely true. Our government is a machine that was designed by some pretty brilliant people some time back. And let's look at the Declaration of Independence. They said 5 things, and Lapina McHenry referenced them earlier. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, they're endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. I like that word among, by the way. Instituted among men. In our generation, we have this thought of government as this thing that, they didn't write governments are placed over people to lord it over them. No, they're supposed to be your peers.
Yes.
They're not supposed to be there for 50 years, career politicians. They're supposed to be your neighbor. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the government. And number 5, and again Lapina references, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it.
Hear, hear.
Now, abolishing is pretty nasty work, and I'm not up here advocating abolishing, but it's come to a point where you have to agree it's time to alter it.
Yeah.
Because it has been altered. Now let me return to my example. Government is a machine designed by some pretty brilliant people, and they designed it like you'd pretty much have to, that there are operators that operate the machine. Okay, they pull little levers and they do little things. They used to literally pull levers. But over time, some of the operators tweaked with the machine and it started having problems. And over long periods of time, it got to the point where we are today. So, it's not a matter of, well, let's just send better operators to Washington. No, the machine is broken. It needs the attention of its designers. It needs the attention of you, the people here today. Again, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. Now let me bring it down a little closer to home, the Arkansas Constitution.